Hello, and welcome to this session called New and Next, Data Analytics with Health Insight. My name is John Wald, and I'm the Clinical Product Manager for Health Insight. I'm trained as a physician and practiced for a few years before becoming a full-time informaticist, doing systems design, research, and applied clinical informatics. In this session, I'll briefly introduce Health Insight and focus on what's new in 2020 and what's next in 2021 and beyond. This session will help you understand the product vision, newly introduced features, and future direction. Our vision is analytic tools and solutions to unlock data for action and learning. Our end-user customers want solutions, and our development partners want tools and infrastructure to build their own solutions. We'll continue to support both and a wide range of options. The Health Insight platform for analytics includes 4 pillars. First, we have a data model and data tools for analytics. We take transactional data in HealthShare, including EHR data, claims data, medication and pharmacy data, and lab results, and aggregate them into over 45 analytic tables and related cubes designed for queries, both ad hoc analyses and preformed pivots. The second pillar is analytic tools, which are used to quickly generate queries and inspect results when asking a question, designing an approach, conducting analyses, and when you're visualizing and communicating results. For doing quick data modeling and pivots and dashboards, you can use InterSystems BI, formerly known as DeepSea. You can also use third-party tools such as Microsoft Power BI, Tableau, Qlik, and other products. The third pillar is solution templates to reduce the time and skills needed for out-of-the-box solutions, such as our emergency department usage reports, the data consistency check tool, and new dashboards for COVID-19. These templates package together a set of prepared dashboards, the underlying pivots and queries, and pre-selected data codes. We're increasing our work to continue producing solution templates in the coming releases. Our fourth pillar is performance, which includes handling high transaction volumes during routine data ingestion, during data spikes, as data tables grow larger over time, and as changes are made to data models during system upgrades. Each of these pillars are a continued focus as we advance the Health Insight product. This graphic shows that data in Health Insight is kept synchronized with HealthShare's unified care record, and that you can configure the timing and details of the data flow depending on the business needs. You can even set up secondary instances of Health Insight to populate additional data source tables and cubes for special purpose extracts. Now, let's talk about what's new in 2020 for Health Insight. Here's what's new from the April 2020.1 release. First, this was our first release on Iris for Health, which allows Health Insight to leverage the latest data platform's enhancements and tools going forward. Second, we made enhancements to the ED usage report and consistency check tool. And finally, we streamlined the upgrade process, introducing optional use of deferred steps to reduce downtime during an upgrade. As a reminder, here's the ED usage report introduced in an earlier version, 2019.1, with its row-by-row list of patients. These are repeat visitors to the ED, filtered for 5 or more visits over 30 days. There's columns showing name, demographics, last visit, and PCP, and the number of visits, which is also a link for more details about the visits. There's also a link to open up the clinical viewer for each patient. And as I said, these are existing features before 2020. 2 things are new in 2020.1. User settings that each individual can easily change. So the 5 visits over 30 days can be changed to, say, 3 visits over 60 days. And consent filters that will hide records if the user is not authorized for a particular patient on the list. This ED usage report serves as an early prototype for configurable solutions that streamline analytics design so you don't have to create your own version from scratch. Also new in 2020.1 are enhancements to our out-of-the-box solution, the Consistency Check tool. This was also first released in 2019.1, and it compares data counts in Health Insight with those in the UCR as an indicator of data consistency and data quality. Earlier versions compare the count of patient MRNs and patient encounters on each edge with Health Insight. New in 2020.1, we count unique patients from the registry and compare them with deduplicated patients in Health Insight source tables and cubes. This helps customers monitor data flow into Health Insight and identify changes over time. It's used to collect baseline data over a defined period, say a month, then compare later reports to the baseline. This example surfaces a drop in unique patients during 1 month, September 2019, which can then be investigated. In 2020, we significantly revised the upgrade post-activation steps for Health Insight to shorten the downtime during an upgrade. This is done by bringing the system live before running certain post-activation steps, such as those that copy information from one table field to another and sometimes take some time to complete in a large database. Some examples of steps that can be deferred are shown on this slide. For example, adding patient number to multiple tables is done to help avoid the need for a join statement when looking up patient MRNs, for example. Copying the facility ID, called the tag facility, into several tables also helps avoid the need for join statements to the encounter table. Improving the way patient identifiers are added to the medication administration table also helps. They can now be populated in the background. We also moved a time-consuming step, tune the HSAA schema, to run just once after all the tables are updated. In a large implementation, these steps can be deferred during an upgrade, bringing the Health Insight system live much sooner while still allowing the new data to be populated. Now let's talk about what's new in Health Insight for 2020.2 being released soon. In this release, we're introducing a set of COVID-19 demonstration dashboards that show population health data from HealthShare, including drill down to the individual patient level. And now I'd like to switch and show you these dashboards with our demo. I'm going to log into HealthShare with a username and a password. Go to the user portal, which shows a number of dashboards, including the COVID-19 Test Count Over Time dashboard, which is now open. This summarizes all the positive, negative, and pending COVID-19 test results for a defined time period in HealthShare, along with the ability to filter by result type, such as showing only positive tests or pending tests. To the right, a bar chart shows the count of daily, monthly, or yearly tests. Right now it's showing yearly tests, but I can change that view to monthly, or I can enter days. In this case, select 30 days, and then switch to a daily view. The bottom left chart provides age and gender groupings with controls to choose single filters or multiple filters. Now I'm pressing to show just the age group filter, just the gender filter, and back to the combined filter for age group and gender. The detailed listing on the bottom right shows the individual test result records that were counted in the charts on this dashboard. You can filter the view, such as by clicking on Pending Results, then on August 2020, which has 74 test results, as shown in the detail listing and in the age and gender chart. As with other Health Insight dashboards included with the product, like the ED usage report and the consistency check tool, this dashboard uses test data to show what's possible. It shows how HealthShare data can be aggregated and summarized, how filters and groupings are applied, how time can be used as a filter, along with drill down to the record level. This dashboard uses the InterSystems Business Intelligence, formerly known as DeepSea. Health Insight also connects easily to third-party visualization tools like Tableau and Microsoft Power BI, among others. Now I'm going to return to the user portal, select a different dashboard, and show you the COVID-19 risk model. In this dashboard, the pie chart in the upper left shows patients with a risk score ranging from 0 to 4 based on risk points assigned to each patient. Patients get 1 risk point for age over 60, another point for comorbidities like lung or cardiac disease listed for encounters in the last 14 days, another point for notable observations such as fever over 100.4 Fahrenheit, respiratory rate greater than 22 per minute, or oxygen saturation below 93%. And finally, they get a point if they were admitted to the hospital for cough, fever, or breathing difficulties. To get an idea of geographic distribution, we present the data as a bar chart for different cities. We're currently showing 5 of the top cities, and by changing the filters applied to the chart, we can choose 10 top cities ordered from highest to lowest percent of risk score 4. This dashboard also makes the underlying data visible. You can toggle to the data table, and you can toggle the pie chart as well to the data table. The third chart shows age groupings as a stacked bar with the option to look at gender and also to look at the data table. As you can see, high-risk patients are grouped in the higher age groups compared to the lower age groups. Action buttons are demonstrated here to add a selected patient to a cohort, to assign them to a care manager, or to open their entire HealthShare record in the clinical viewer. The technical design behind this demonstration risk model uses source expressions in the cube definitions that each customer can change as desired. Now we'll return to the home screen for the user portal and select the next dashboard, the COVID-19 syndromic surveillance dashboard. This example shows trends over time for total ED visits and total hospitalizations with grouping by age and grouping by facility. Yearly counts are shown on the top charts for ED visits on the left and hospitalizations on the right. The bottom charts show year-over-year comparisons using percentages of ED visits on the left or hospitalizations on the right for COVID-like illness and for pneumonia. We can also look at the underlying data table that's providing the data for these graphs simply by toggling from the chart to the data table and back again. And here we're showing the ability to instead show the data by facility instead of by age group. Now we're going to switch to a different example showing a demonstration dashboard using Tableau connected with Health Insight. This is also a syndromic surveillance dashboard with controls at the top that provide filters. You can filter by state. In this case, all states are being shown. You can filter by age and select a range of ages that you're interested in. You can filter by gender. And you can filter by encounter date and select, again, a date range that is of interest. There's a view selector that provides 6 different views or counts that you can look at. You can look at people with fever. You can look at people who have died, or those with a respiratory diagnosis, or a COVID test, or ventilator usage, or low lymphocyte count. You also have the choice to display daily counts or cumulative counts. And near the bottom of the screen, there's a heat map showing state-by-state shading for case counts. In this example, each state is shown in a row on the left, and you can open a state to view the cities in that state, and you can further drill down to look at different zip codes within each city. To the right is a daily count of cases, and those are color-coded to show low numbers or, relatively speaking, high numbers. Now we return to the user portal home screen to pick the last demonstration COVID dashboard, which is a heat map. And this particular dashboard shows the count of high-risk patients in each region, where low is shown in green and a high count is shown in red. The test data that we used for this dashboard comes from 3 states: Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. And the table of zip codes and the counts is shown at the left. The technology behind this is a Google Maps widget that we developed, which is available as a no-cost download that extends InterSystems BI, as well as a Google Maps API that can be licensed using Google Cloud Services. As I mentioned, the zip code data is shown on the left, and that includes the counts for the high-risk patients, which is in a column that we can scroll to show. The takeaway I want to leave you with is that Health Insight provides you with access to up-to-the-minute HealthShare transactional data using a mature data model based on SDA and translatable to FHIR and other models. And you have your choice of tools: InterSystems BI, which is included, or others such as Tableau, Power BI, Click, Excel, or others that you may prefer. Well, now that we've seen the demo of the COVID-19 dashboards, let's talk about what's coming next in 2021. We'll continue the solutions template work, building on the population health COVID examples to focus on a chronic condition, diabetes, since our customers are trying to find and close gaps in care. These gaps are really important. Closing them helps the patient, helps the individual provider and provider organization perform better, and brings additional contract revenues to insurers under value-based care. But you have to get really specific about the gaps. You have to find patients with hemoglobin A1Cs that are high or missing, with high blood pressure, with retinal exam where the documentation is missing, and with missing screening or management for kidney disease. And when you find a gap, you also have to make sure it's a gap in care not a gap in the data. So you have to check the data quality, check for missing or null values, check for missing coding standards, check for unexpected statuses, and also look for inconsistent value sets. Ideally, you check those up front. This is related to a broader effort to focus on HealthShare data quality. See Chi Lee's talk on data quality if you're interested in that. So the takeaways I'd like to leave you with for Health Insight are that it's adaptable, powerful, and provides solutions. It's adaptable because instead of a static snapshot, you have near real-time data flowing into the system, and as it's ingested, it's normalized, deduplicated, and transformed as needed. You start with a rich data model, and you can expand or change it. And you're not locked into one set of tools or one approach. Analysis can stay within InterSystems or run on third-party systems that are separated from or connected to the data. It's powerful because it's built on Iris for Health with its high performance for even large databases, and it offers both SQL queries and cube-based pivot analyses for flexibility and speed. Providing solutions means that you not only can make your own by yourself or with help from an application partner, but you'll increasingly be provided with solution templates that make it faster and easier to answer pressing questions that leverage analytics. If you'd like to learn more, please consider attending some of the presentations listed here, such as the Unified Care Record, the Data Quality Framework, or the COVID Innovations presentation. And you can always visit learning.intersystems.com for extensive resources, including tutorials, documentation, and presentations. Please be in touch if you'd like to know more about Health Insight. I'd love to talk with you. Thank you.